Housing Authority for LaSalle County, Project-Based Voucher. Welcome to the Housing Choice Voucher Program, also known as Section. Our office is located in Ottawa, Illinois. Currently, our lobbies are closed, but we are available via mail, phone, fax, and email. What is a project-based voucher? Project-based vouchers offer assistance to families so that they are able to live in a decent, safe, and healthy home. Unlike other vouchers, project-based vouchers are tied to a specific unit. You are not able to move with a project-based voucher to a different apartment. The selection process. First, you would fill out an application. Next, you would give proof of income, assets, and any deductions you may qualify for. This is to see how much subsidy you are approved for so we can place you in the proper unit. Then, we would forward your information to the property manager at Anthony's Place Apartments. The property manager would assign you to a unit. Once a unit has been selected for you, a lease date would be set up and the deposit for the unit would be due at the lease of signing. Then you move in. How it works: between the family and HUD, you will get a voucher. Between HUD and the owner, there's a HAP contract. And then the family and the owner is the assisted lease. The most important thing you can do to make sure you are in compliance with all regulations is to communicate. If ever you have a question, give us a call or send an email. We will be happy to answer any and all questions you may have. Also, please make sure to read all documents we give you. They will have all the information you need as well. The required information. You are responsible for supplying the Public Housing Authority or HUD with documentation. This includes Social Security numbers, birth certificates, proof of identity, income, assets, expenses, and you must sign consent for release of information. All information must be true and complete. Falsifying information will be considered fraud. The Housing Authority will send you requests to re-verify your income, assets, and expenses. This must be done at least once a year. Interim examinations. If you have a change of income or someone moves out or in between the time of your annual re-exam, please call our office or email us. All changes must be reported in a timely manner. Inspections. Housing Quality Standards, also is known as HQS, is how the PHA knows the unit is safe for a family to rent. HQS inspections must be done at least every other year, biennial, and at the initial move-in. If there is an HQS breach that was caused by the family is responsible to fix it. This can include a broken window, utility disconnect, and any other damages to the unit beyond the normal wear and tear. The landlord is responsible for the compliance of the lease. However, if repeated violations happen, you could lose your voucher. Depending on the reason, you may also lose your voucher if the landlord evicts you. You must inform the Housing Authority if you are planning on moving from your unit or if you are served an eviction notice. You must also inform the Housing Authority if you turn over possession of the unit, turn in the keys, so that we know to stop charging you rent. Once you move into the unit, you must use this unit as your only residence. Housing Authority must approve of all people occupying the unit. You must notify the Housing Authority if you want anyone added to removed from the lease. You may not sublet or sublease the unit, renting your unit to someone else. You cannot assign the lease or transfer the unit. You are able to run a business out of your home, like babysitting, cutting hair, making jewelry, candles, makeup, cookware. However, you must follow all state and local codes for any business you conduct inside the unit. Also, you must report all income made to the Housing Authority. Absent family members. Generally, an individual who is or is expected to be absent from the assisted unit for 180 consecutive days or less is considered temporarily absent and continues to be considered a family member. Generally, An individual who is or is expected to be absent from the assisted unit for more than 180 consecutive days is considered permanently absent and no longer a family member. A guest is a person temporarily staying in the unit with the consent of a member of the household who has expressed or implied authority to the consent. A guest can remain in the assisted unit no longer than 30 consecutive days or a total of 90 cumulative calendar days during any 12-month period. The assisted family cannot have any ownership or interest in the unit. Also, the owners must certify that they are not the parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sister, or brother of any member of the family unless the Public Housing Authority has granted a request for reasonable accommodation for a person with disabilities who is a member of the tenant household. Fraud. If you commit fraud to obtain assisted housing from HUD, you could be evicted from your apartment or house, required to repay all overpaid rental assistance you received, fined up to $10,000, imprisoned for up to 5 years, prohibited from receiving future assistance, and subject to state and local penalties. What can't you do? Family members must not engage in drug-related criminal activity or violent criminal activity or other criminal activity that threatens the health, safety, or right to peaceful enjoyment of other residents and persons residing in the immediate vicinity of the premises. Members of the household must not engage in abuse of alcohol in any way that threatens the health, safety, or right to peaceful enjoyment of the other residents and persons residing in the immediate vicinity of the premises. An assisted family or member of the family must not receive HCV program assistance while receiving another housing subsidy for the same unit or a different unit under any other federal, state, or local housing assistance program. Your tenant payment, your TTP, means total tenant payment, is the maximum per month a family is able to pay, rent plus utilities. Your TTP is calculated as figured by using the highest of 30% of your family's adjusted monthly income, 10% of the family's monthly gross income. A utility allowance will be used in determining the rent for the unit. TTP minus the utility allowance. If the total above is positive, 100 minus 50 equals 50. That is how much rent you are responsible for. If the total of above is negative, 25 minus 50 equals negative 25, the Housing Authority will issue a utility reimbursement, an ERB. After a unit has been approved by the Housing Authority, you will be instructed to sign a lease with the landlord. The initial lease must be a minimum of 12 months. Read the lease before you sign it. You need to know if you are getting locked into a 12-month commitment or if you have the option to vacate with notice, and you need to know all other rules and expectations of the landlord. The tenancy addendum. It's a HUD document known as a tenancy addendum must be attached to the lease. If there is an issue in the lease that contradicts the tenancy addendum will override the lease. Also, if something is not covered in the lease, it will fall to the tenancy addendum as a default. This is set up as a protection for you and the housing agency. A copy is provided in your packet for you to review. You will also be required to sign a statement of family responsibilities outlining program requirements. A copy of this is also provided. Disabled families may request a reasonable accommodation. The request form is in your packet. A family may need a reasonable accommodation to change a policy, practice, or procedure, or may need an accommodation to be able to use and enjoy their housing assistance. There must be a nexus or relationship from the disability to the reasonable accommodation. Fair housing is your right. It is unlawful to discriminate in housing based on these factors: race, color, national origin, religion, sex, families with children, or handicap. Your packet includes a pamphlet with a complaint form you can use to file a complaint if you believe you have been a victim of discrimination. The Violence Against Women's Act, VAWA, provides protections for victims of domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, or stalking. This program is for men too, despite the name, but was designed to keep victims of such abuse safe from losing their housing assistance. Victims under VAWA are entitled to special privileges in order to keep them safe. Contact the Housing Authority or refer to the pamphlet in your packet for more information. Contact information. We are at 526 East Norris Drive in Ottawa, Illinois. Our phone number and fax is listed. Your caseworker is Becky Core, ICO technician. And we thank you.